Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for joining me. Today is a good day for all of us, right? We have been blessed to have this opportunity to have a good day. When it comes to me, I have to tell you that I'm so happy today. I am extremely exuberant and rejuvenated by the grace of God to have a good day. And I hope that it is really true with you. Now, let's talk about some of our presidents that were challenged by some of the things that they have faced. Starting from George Washington. Well, George Washington was created in this world for a particular reason, which was to lead the Revolutionary War and bring US to independence. He faced tremendous challenges. He was the commander of the army of the United States of America, and he fought so well. He trained his soldiers very well that they would stand with him even to the point of death to achieve goals. It was because of this reason George Washington was so successful. He was able to defeat his fierce enemy, the British soldiers. And that is exactly what happened. This was a tremendous challenge that he faced at the time. He was in leadership to promote quality, integrity, and honesty. And he did just that. We don't get that from a lot of politicians because today our politicians have become so selfish and rapacious and that they don't really care about the problems that we have. They don't really care about the interest of the common men in this country. That is so unfortunate. We want to change that. Second, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan died at a time when he did not expect. He suffered Alzheimer's disease. His intellectual capability declined so massively, and he suffered death. It was him who stood against the narcissistic ambition of the Russian Federation. And it was him who said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear that wall down. This wall was created by the Russian Empire, the Russian Federation between East and West Germany. The German people did not have the means for communication. They were deprived. And it was because of Ronald Reagan we were able to dismantle that wall. He faced tremendous challenges in his leadership. And he was an actor, by the way. He came from a actor background. So in other words, that he was a film star. But that did not stop him from succeeding in his life to become a politician. He did a lot of things, by the way. His messages are known to be one of the best, So his death conveyed a message of poignant story. It was heart-touching, And we know the story, and his wife also suffered that she died of a heart attack. We must not forget these great leaders that stood for the rights of humanity, stood for the rights of the people of America. John F. Kennedy, his life was curtailed at a time when he did not expect, as he was traveling through Dallas, and he was shot to death. And he never knew that this was going to happen. And he stopped the proliferation of nuclear weapons in Cuba from Russia. And he was an effective leader. If you listen to his speeches, you would understand that how capable, how linguistically capable he was to lead this nation. We still remember his word. And he said, ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. And he's right. It is time for us to understand the needs of our country. Let us ask not what the country can do for you. Let us ask what you, every one of you, can do for the country. If you're not satisfied with the leadership in Washington, you have to speak. If you don't speak, only a crying baby can get the milk. And if you don't cry out, nobody is going to listen to you. Nobody would know what you want to do. So that's why it is very important, consequential, that you speak for your right, speak for the rights of your neighbors, your fellow Americans. You know that some of your neighbors are suffering from different kinds of problems. You know that there is a panhandle out there that you know, but you're not doing anything about it. And I want you to be like John F. Kennedy, a president that understood the need of common man. You know, he contributed tremendously to our democracy, to our country. We cannot forget him. He was a Catholic. That may have been the reason why he was executed. Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, he was killed at a time when he did not expect. He was with great leadership for the nation of America. Now, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton suffered a lot of things, by the way. But especially at the time of his leadership, we know that the Oklahoma bombing that occurred, which ensued in the death of over 169 people and that injured over 500 people. Timothy McVeigh, along with another accomplice, were involved in the bombing of the Oklahoma Federal Building. Apparently, ostensibly, Timothy McVeigh loaded with a time bomb on his pickup truck and drove it down to the parking garage and parked there and left the scene. Approximately after 15 minutes, this bomb exploded, destroying the creating structural damage to this building and killing all these people that I talked about. And Clinton provided leadership to investigate this crime and finally arresting Timothy McVeigh while he was on his way to another state. And we know the story. He was executed by lethal injection in Kansas. I believe it's Kansas. And so Clinton was also Clinton was also interested in solving the dispute between the Palestinians and the Israelis. He was seen so constantly in the Middle East. I don't know if it was during his time Ishaq Rabin was executed by a student in Israel. He provided great leadership. We cannot forget Yasser Arafat, who was poisoned to death. Well, so Clinton was not able to establish peace in the Middle East, but he was a strong advocate for promoting peace in the Middle East by engaging in dialogues between the leadership of these two nations. And now Clinton was diagnosed with some type of skin cancer. It was not a big deal, and he overcame that challenge. And finally, I would like to talk about my best friend, George W. Bush. When George W. Bush was in leadership, he came across a lot of difficulties and challenges and debacle. So one of the things that I can remember, everybody can remember, is the 2001 September the 11th attack. Al-Qaeda operatives flew commercial airlines into our federal buildings, into Trade Center buildings, both of them, and also Pentagon. And there was one which was on its way to Washington, D.C., most probably towards the Capitol building or the White House. It was because of the good people that were on board. It was crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and because they knew that the pilots were on their way to crash the aircraft into one of the federal buildings. So their brave act culminated in a wonderful event. Even though they sacrificed their lives, the Al-Qaeda operatives, the pilots were not able to successfully carry out their terroristic mission. And as you know, when George Bush came to know about this while he was giving a speech at a local school, I don't know exactly where it was, Washington, D.C. somewhere, or New York, and he was so shocked. If you can take a look at his facial expression at the time when he was told by this event, he was told that America was under attack. At the time, they did not know exactly who was behind it. And because of the CIA and the FBI and the law enforcement agencies' collaborative act that culminated in understanding who was really behind. So America was awakened by this event. And this event marked the fact that how vulnerable or susceptible America is towards foreign invasion, especially terrorist activities. And Congress evolved to a sense where they understood to declare war against the terrorist organizations all across the world. And George Bush was the strong leader at the time. He provided great leadership, and we need to appreciate him for that. He did not hesitate to tell the Al-Qaeda operatives, the leader Bin Laden, that it doesn't matter where you are, we will smoke you out of your hole. We will hunt you down. We will smoke you out of your hole, and we will bring you to justice. We will not stop our efforts until we bring you to justice. It doesn't matter where you are, and we will do that for America and for the American people. He did not just simply stop at Al-Qaeda. He went after others, Taliban, and all the others that we have. So his leadership must be appreciated. And if you are listening to me, George W. Bush, I really want to thank you for your contributions to this country, and I really want to thank